If you worked to create the opportunity of a lifetime, would you make the leap? Would you sell most everything you own, leave what you know, and say goodbye to the ones you love? And what if the consequences of that change means embracing a new culture, learning a new language, and building a new community?
Would you pull up stakes and move to Norway? Not a day goes by when a confused Bergenser doesn't ask one of us,
So why did you move to Bergen?
It's not an easy question to answer. To be honest, the reasons change from day to day. Darcy and I are two of many Americans who have chosen this reverse migration. My ancestors left Norway in the late 19th century, but that's not why we emigrated from America.
Here, we have a connection to both the present and a distant past that's unavailable to us back in the States. The Norway we mythologized from America was little more than a product of our imagination. It's not a real place. Still, the Norway we've come to know as home exceeds our dreams. Living in Norway, away from America, I've come to realize that many of the things I assumed were normal are not, in fact, normal. This move has taught me that I need to not only master the spoken language, but also the cultural language. There are things that I've never thought about, like not smiling at strangers, where you sit on the tram, or that I hold my fork with my right hand. Or is that the wrong hand? These are markers of a particular culture.
The longer we live here, the easier it is for us to master many practical things, like where to sit on the tram. But that time also dulls the brightness of our first impressions.
Each day in Bergen makes it harder to become excited about a heritage site like Bergen, especially if you pass it on the way to the dentist.
Hi, Drew.
Hi, Einar.
That's my dentist.
Wait a minute. Isn't he supposed to be in the office?
Still, there would be no point in leaving Seattle unless we found something different. Our time in Norway has led us to really consider our life choices about family and friends, money and career, about love and death.
To move abroad is to understand yourself as a product of your own culture. Much of what I thought of as my personality, the things that makes me different from other people, frankly was insignificant compared with what makes me similar to other Americans. Although in 2.5 years of living here, Darcy and I are slowly turning into something that Americans might consider a foreigner.
Our new world in Bergen is where we've come to lead new lives, different lives.
The first few videos in this series were about moving to Norway. This one is a little different. It's about coming from. It's about leaving Seattle.
This house is our dream house. 16 years ago, we watched it go from a framed shell
Lots of window, lots of light, and lots of space.
to something we called home.
I'm out of your room.
We raised 4 kids here,
Dad!
and each room resonates with the memories of birthday parties, Christmas celebrations, football on the TV, and games in the backyard. We were part of a community, not just here in the neighborhood, but in the community at large. Our life here was what most folks might consider the prototypical American family.
Yeah, it's only like 5 minutes video, right?
My home office has always been my refuge. I've worked from home for nearly 20 years, so the pandemic was not that much of a change for me.
We dropped a bunch of frames in. Let's jump into day 2.
This space was my creative home. And with my job, my version of working from home meant there were occasional days where even the kitchen was a film set. Darcy and I have always loved to cook. Dinner was a very important time for us. It was an opportunity for us to gather, talk about our day, review the efforts of the cook, and reconnect as a family. My other place of refuge was the garden. Over the years, the space has morphed and changed, with roses, hydrangeas, planters for vegetables, and flowers, lots of flowers. This little oasis in the city was where we gathered as a family, played with the dogs, and relaxed at the end of the day. This house will always remind me of Christmas.
Best thing I've ever seen.
We're far from unique in building family traditions that glue us together. However, there is one holiday tradition that our friends and family have grown to associate with us. The Christmas time-lapse video. The story rarely changed. Footage of us pulling out the decorations, stringing lights on the house, usually with limited success, pulling out the model train table from storage, finding and setting up the perfect tree, decorating the house, and finally, decorating the tree. The train table saga took on a life of its own. It started as a piece of plywood, then as a temporary table with scrap lumber legs. The kids built buildings, helped lay out the town, and populate the fantasy world with people. Eventually, we decided the layout should look more like a real piece of furniture. One of my daughters and I embarked on a 2-week project of creating the Keller Christmas Train Table 3.0. It was a lot of work, but ultimately incredibly satisfying for all of us.
Still, no matter how profound our sentimental attachment to the house, it's time to let the next family build their memories here. Bergen is where we feel anchored, so we're selling this place and committing to our life in Norway. This means we need to get the house ready for sale.
This home is still our legal place of residence. It's where we live when we go back to the States, and 2 of our kids still live in their childhood bedrooms. The big challenge is we've needed to coordinate everything: the sale, the packing, the renovation, the move from 7,000 kilometers away. The prep involves a lot of moving parts. Our first priority is sorting what we'll take to Norway and pack it up for the move. Packing is an existential exercise, particularly when you're not just packing, you're sorting. The keep-discard process is particularly difficult when the consequence of choosing to keep something, in other words, ship it to Bergen, equates to a real cost in dollars for shipping. The metrics become, how important is this thing to me? Would it be cheaper to replace it in Norway? Can I replace it in Norway? Is this thing sentimental, meaning more likely to ship, or just another thing that clutters up my life? When did I use this last? Have I missed it while I've been away? Did I even remember I owned it? What stays? What goes? Each of the thousands of objects in your 3-story house is considered. Day after day after day, you sort, either packing or piling. Packing the stuff that's made the cut is its own puzzle. It is endlessly testing fit, moving things around, thinking what else can go in the box. It becomes a 3-dimensional game of Tetris that you play over and over, box after box. Moving internationally has additional challenges. First of all, you need to keep track of what you put in each box, compiling an inventory for customs. The second is, you don't have the luxury of simply throwing stuff in haphazardly. What you pack has to survive a 7,000-kilometer journey, traveling by truck across America, and then a container ship to Germany, and another ship to Bergen. It'll be weeks of rattling, shaking, and rolling from side to side. It simply doesn't make sense to pay to move something to another country and have it arrive in pieces. Your time spent packing is balanced with the ton of household maintenance that's been ignored for the past 2 years. Understandably, home maintenance has not been a priority for our kids. If something breaks, if something wears out, if it's not a catastrophe, they pretty much leave it. This means there's a long list of things that need to be repaired, restored, or rewired. To sell the home, it's got to be fixed.
The next project is getting our screen door for the back of the house to the store to get it re-screened. It has holes, but the funny thing is driving down the street, the screens make the sound like it is a hurricane outside.
Most garages in America could be classified as a toxic waste dump. Years of leftover paint, chemicals, solvents, motor oils, a virtual stew of stuff that belongs neither in a landfill nor a watershed. Obviously, you can't leave it as the next homeowner's headache. Fortunately, the city makes it easy to drop off all the toxic stuff for recycling. You just have to get it there and hope no one rear-ends your car along the way. The process of emptying out the house also means multiple runs to the dump. Some things can get recycled because they're metal. But others just need to be chucked as far as you can throw it.
Coming back to the States, you can't help but draw comparisons between your old life and your new life. For example, today, Saturday, beautiful sunny day. In Norway, a beautiful sunny Saturday means everybody's out on a tour, they're out on a hike. In the States, a beautiful sunny day is in your car.
It's not just inside the house that needs maintenance. What was once our little oasis in the city is now brambles and weeds.
Making progress?
Yeah. I do.
With my countless runs to the dump, Darcy has taken on the task of cleaning up the yard under a blistering July sun.
I can't tell you how much happier it makes me just being able to see the backyard.
Let me share a secret. I love mowing the lawn. It's a labor of love and my moment of zen. There's a curious peace in the smell of cut grass and order in the lines of tire tracks. When I'm pushing my mower, I get to release my brain and think of nothing. Being gone for 2 years, this little patch of grass has been running full speed in an effort to return to its natural habitat. A colony of moles has appeared, resulting in ruts and bumps that make my mower buck like an ATV. The grass is now brown and burned out because, well, yard work has never been a passion for our kids. Still, mowing the lawn is an exercise in being in the moment. I'm focused on an action that provides immediate results.
So after 16 years, that's the last time I'm ever going to mow this lawn. This booth is so broken down, you're sitting in a hole. It's like, please, sir, can I have some more?
With the kitchen now packed for the move, every meal is either takeout or eat out.
It's rolled up.
I love me a good breakfast. Again, an American cultural marker.
You think it is about being fed that the Americans rust so much?
Well, but no. You know, there's lots to be said for diner food.
1 week into our 2.5-week stay, we'd been to the same diner 3 days in a row.
You know, clearly we're craving bad, well, it's good food, but I mean, just that sort of classic American Italian.
One of the kids had come up from Portland and another from Chicago, all to say goodbye to the house as a family. But this meant family meals continued, with dim sum, pho, evenings on the town, and one last meal in Seattle with the 6 of us.
So there are a lot of reasons why leaving Seattle was not as difficult as you might think. Traffic is one of them. When I used to have to commute to work, I would sit in this sort of traffic 45 minutes to an hour each way every day, and it was only 17 miles. And it just wears you out. A lot of lost time. So it's not the messiest car?
Nah, at all. At all.
The next item to sort out was selling our car.
Probably a 4 out of 10.
Oh.
10 being the worst.
It's mostly been sitting in the garage while we've been away. But just like the house, you have to spend time and money to get it ready for sale.
Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way.
We may want to go correct. So let's go over there.
The consequence of our move is our kids also have to move.
Oh, no, come back this way. Oh, right there. This way we'll have room to pivot.
That means each needed to find an apartment. And then we need to invest the time and energy to get their stuff to the new place.
And plus it wipes off all the dust. Now, so earlier I talked about how the sound of my screen door that I was taking in to get repaired sounded a bit like a hurricane. Well, I'm coming back from the store and now it sounds like it's gonna explode. Today's the day we've been planning weeks, if not months, maybe 2 years. Well, it's finally arrived. It's moving day. This has been a chore. We've been here for a week just trying to get things ready and to sort out what goes and what stays. Most of the stuff is staying here in Seattle, and we'll sell it and donate it and get rid of it. But we're really excited about getting the things that kind of represent home, that are sentimental. It's not a lot of stuff, a couple of beds, some furniture, and we've managed to sort and box the things that really aren't furniture and are going to go. The house, well, it's pretty much gutted. Have to come apart?
Yeah, just this one, just the legs.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll make that tight turn down the stairs. Oh, yeah. They dig all hit the wall.
This move is not cheap. When you add up the cost of packing and moving our stuff, airfare between Bergen and Seattle, food, refurbishing the interior and floors, and the folks who will take away what's left, we'll spend over $50,000.
It's absolutely incredible to see all the work these folks have done.
Honestly, you get what you pay for, including the peace of mind that things are packed right with the paperwork to make it through customs.
Wow.
Anywhere we go is where I long to roam night or day. I'm taking you all the way, 'cause my heart screams, let me carry you home.
There's not much to do as they pack and load your belongings. Plus, with the sofa gone, the options for watching TV are pretty limited. The Christmas Train Table 3.0 posed a unique problem. Throwing it away would be like tossing out a member of the family. But none of the kids had anywhere to store it. After lots of family discussion, we decided to bring it to Norway. That meant the construction of a specially built crate and the chance that it may not arrive in one piece.
'Cause my heart screams, let me carry you home.
There goes our stuff. How many months before we see it again?
With our carefully chosen belongings now en route to Bergen, there's one last problem. What do we do with everything else? The best solution is hiring a company that does estate sales. You know, the folks who clean out a relative's home after they die. The team comes in and sorts our remaining belongings into 3 big piles. Things that are valuable, things to be donated, and the stuff that no one will want and will just go to a landfill.
Everything's been sorted. Keepers, losers. This all goes to trash. This all gets resold.
In theory, you get 50% of whatever they sell. Although at the time of editing this story, 6 months have passed and we still have not seen a dime. Walking through your empty home has an almost funereal vibe. It's really jarring when all of the landmarks, the furniture you'd expect to see, are gone.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think of all the things that happened here. What do you think upstairs, August?
Big and empty.
Yeah, big and empty.
Putting all this behind us, it's hard. Yeah, a house is just a thing. It's wood and nails and paint. But it's also the shell that held our family.
Say goodbye to the house, August.
My house.
Pretty final.
It is final.
It's gonna be hard.
Huh?
I said it's gonna be hard.
It is a representation of us as a family. And all of us have moved on. I have 1 in Chicago, 1 in Portland, 2 here in Seattle. We're in Norway. I mean, that's just part of life. But that doesn't make it easier.
No fun.
No, it's no fun at all.
It's just life. And yeah, the house is just a thing. But it's kind of saying goodbye to the family and all that represents. The convenience of being all together. I'll miss that. I think Darcy will miss that. I know the kids will miss that. I'll miss this house. Yeah. I'll miss this house.
The American culture defines Darcy and me, unconsciously imposing responses to everyday events. That's why we need Norway. We need Bergen. It pushes us to rearrange our minds, forcing us to see the world differently. It is genuinely difficult to leave all that you've known. Staying would be the easy decision. But for some reason, something we don't entirely understand, this leap of faith feels right.